Alright folks, welcome back to the OlimoLeague finals. As I mentioned before, we had a couple of technical problems. We had many, in fact. We lost the English caster. I'm filling in for the time being. And then I realized my SLI was enabled, which is a good way to break XSplit and OBS. It actually halves the frame rate because of the way that the frame buffer actually works in those programs. Didn't realize that, so again, I very much apologize. We are attempting to make our way into the next game. For some reason, YongHwa isn't loading in, so hopefully we don't have any problems here. We may have to rehost, but currently the scoreline is 3-2 in favor of YongHwa. I will give you a recap of actually how we got here, since the OlimoLeague finals consists of those who have played in previous weekly tournaments and qualified for this one. We had YongHwa beating Penguin and Supernova. It was a very close series with Supernova to get to the finals. And, of course, Supernova beat Crank and then lost to YongHwa. We had Journey beating Alicia, again in a close series. And then beating Ryung, again in a close series, 3-2 in the TBT. And Ryung, in order to get to the round of 4, beat Emotion 2-0 in order to get there. So this is the first monthly final of this league, which is designed as a Korean weekly to replace the old ESV Korean weeklies. It's a good chance for teamless players and up-and-comers in the Korean scene to be able to prove themselves, win a little bit of money. They can play the weekly, and they can qualify for a monthly final with a $500 prize pool. And that is actually all supported by a Patreon effort. It is all crowd-funded, which I'm involved in, and a few others are. If you wish to consider being a patron for this event, then you can head over to patreon.com/OlimoLeague. That's spelled OLIMOLEY. Patreon.com/OlimoLeague. And of course, you can find information on the tournament over on Team Liquid in the tournament section. Pretty cool effort as far as I'm concerned. And it's really awesome to have a smaller tournament, specifically for Koreans, because actually there aren't that many. You might think, oh, well, Koreans dominate everything. Well, the thing is that actually an awful lot of Koreans don't have that many choices. They don't have that many options for things to play in. If they don't qualify for GSL or play in Pro League, if they don't have the money to fly out for a foreign tournament, they really can't play in anything. The number of online events has decreased over the past couple of years, and a lot of them are region-specific. So you've got things like Zotac EU, which is played on EU servers, which gives Korean players a really bad experience. Well, never mind. We do now have a smaller tournament for Koreans, and that's fantastic, and if you'd like to support it, then please do head over to patreon.com/OlimoLeague. In the meantime, we saw Gas first opening here by Journey, who is currently trailing after a failed SCV pull. Now, we have experienced many failed SCV pulls in the past. You know, we saw Flash try it over and over again against CJ Hero in the finals of Shoutcraft, and it was something of a disaster for him. It didn't really work all that often, and YongHwa was able to shut that down. Now, you might question whether or not it was even sensible to go for an SCV pull, and I think in that situation, an SCV pull, there is a decent degree of wisdom to it, but with that many force fields fighting into that kind of choke, with perfect force fields, you're going to be able to shut that down. I think that Journey could have continued. He had an economic lead over his opponent. He was starting to lag behind a little bit in upgrades, but that's not something that you have to worry too much about. And bear in mind that his opponent was only on 2 bases and had shown no sign of attempting to tech switch to High Templar, which could have been a really, really big problem. Nice little pick off there for Journey. The probe sticking around for just a little bit too long there. No real excuse for that, considering that the barracks was a little bit later. And we're going directly into a factory. We'll see what we'll see exactly what Journey decides to do with this gas opening. He's got 2 in the gas here. He may decide to go for a Banshee play. He may just be looking for Hellions. I mean, we probably will not see a mech play against a Protoss. That's not very common, but you never know. Journey's going to find his way into the mineral line, and this shouldn't really do anything. If he gets a probe here, that would be shocking, and that's not going to happen. In fact, he's actually going to lose his Reaper, so YongHwa with a nice bit of positioning here. And going straight into the starport, we'll see if we get Banshee, or we'll see if we get some kind of drop play. We've got a Hellion on the way here. And in the meantime, YongHwa did manage to get his expansion up. But bear in mind, Journey hasn't actually attempted to expand here. He's gone all the way up to starport on 1 base, so he wants to be very, very aggressive. And YongHwa has skipped a good degree of things like gateways in order to get to that point. He's got his 2nd gateway coming down now. So is there harass potential? I would say so, but not a huge amount yet. It looks like we're going to end up seeing a Marine and Hellion drop, which in theory shouldn't actually do that much because of Photon Overcharge. So I'm kind of surprised to see that. It might just be an elevator play. But what he could do, of course, is threaten the main and then go straight for the natural, or vice versa. By doing this, there's only enough energy for a single Photon Overcharge, at least for the next minute or so. So there is the possibility that something could happen here. Hellions taking map control. Journey is significantly behind economically due to how late this base is. He's going to add a Widowmine in there as well. I'm actually kind of surprised that it wasn't just a straight-up Widowmine Marine drop. That to me seems like something that would be more effective in this situation, but ultimately Journey is a better player than me, a lot better player than me, and knows what he's doing. I'm just interested to see what exactly his plan is. It looks like he's going to want to drop and then also attack simultaneously. He might want to try and catch some kind of probe transfer, but there's a lot of Stalkers here. I mean, this isn't going to do much, frankly. Photon Overcharge is now down, and he can certainly... I don't think he can deny the natural. I mean, there's 4 Stalkers. There's going to be 5 in a minute. So, Warpgate's about to finish. So this does nothing, basically, here by Journey. And well, he may even lose a Hellion. Takes a little bit of damage on that and pulls off. Yeah, that was... I don't know. I found that rather confusing. I'm just trying to think what exactly he was going to achieve with that. And the answer is, well, not much, apparently. So that got nothing done, and that puts Journey behind economically. As you can see, he's got a worker deficit. And that's a lot more chrono boost that YongHwa has as well. Now, tech-wise, Journey's in a pretty cool spot, but he's not really able to make anything happen with it. Like, this starport's just going to sit here idle. He built a medevac, and is now going to build another one. But Stim is very, very late. And things like combat shields aren't even on the agenda at this point. I don't like it. I don't like it. But I'm hoping Journey is able to at least get some harassment done. As you can see, the only worker that was killed in this game was that initial Reaper, which didn't get a lot done after that. It was killed very quickly. So I'd say that YongHwa is in a really nice spot at the moment. And Journey's trying to find something, but he's not going to get anything done here. I really don't see that happening. Well, in the meantime, he'll take out his rage on the bricks, as you can see. That will be obliterated for the good of the Terran Republic. Terran Confederacy, Empire, whatever it is they're calling it these days. Now we're going to see a small push here with the Widowmine, which I do like. I would like to see more Widowmines, actually. I mean, this is why I think Widowmine would have been fantastic, because frankly, there was absolutely no detection for YongHwa at the time. Now, of course, there's 3 observers out, so it's not as effective. And maybe it is a little bit too dicey. Maybe you just don't get enough out of it. But what we saw from Journey didn't get anything done. Thankfully, he does have a decent army at the moment. It's not brilliant, but it's good enough. And there's still harassment potential here for Journey. He may decide to drop right in here. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. So, oh, and the army's moving out. That is not good for YongHwa at all. He did not realize that was happening. And that's going to give... In fact, that... Oh, this is actually horrible, potentially, here for YongHwa. He loses several workers as a direct result. There is the Photon Overcharge, and that's driven away. And we have that nasty Widowmine there. But that's going to be picked off before it's able to really get anything else done. That certainly could have been a lot more unpleasant. It looked like what happened there was we saw the Hellions attack the front in an effort to draw the army out of position, and then a drop in the back. But ultimately, it actually only killed 4 workers. So... YongHwa is still just trucking along just fine here. Going to see a 3rd base come down for Journey. Attempt to beat his opponent economically. We've got some Immortals coming out here from YongHwa, which means his Colossus are a lot later than they were last game. Journey stims in and finds nothing. And seeing YongHwa play 2 base shouldn't really actually surprise anybody. He does that an awful lot. Focuses on Blinkstalker and Colossus pushes on 2 bases. There's the scan going down. He sees the Immortal. And there's another Immortal on the way as well. I don't know how effective that Immortal's going to be. Probably not very. Journey hasn't committed all that much to the production of Marauders. It almost seems like those Immortals are designed to try and force a different tech reaction. And it seems like that's actually what Journey is doing. He's going for a Ghost Academy as opposed to building more Vikings. So there's going to be a bit of a problem here for Journey. I think he may have been tricked. Force Field's not brilliant, but good enough to ward away his opponent's army for the time being. Yeah, I have a feeling that Journey's got the wrong end of the stick here. He sees Immortals, and he's like, alright, okay, well, you're probably going to go with some Archons and maybe some Storm here, so I'm going to get a Ghost. Or maybe you're going to commit more to Immortals, so Ghosts are pretty good for EMP. But in reality, what he actually needs here are Vikings, because the Colossus production is well underway. 3rd base is going up, and Journey's going to attempt to shut that down if he can. I'd like to see a little bit more attempts to drop harassment, but frankly, YongHwa has it so buttoned down here in the main base that nothing's going to happen. And it's nice that Journey is able to really get his economy rolling, though, and he actually now has a worker lead. So that's nice, but I'm just a little bit worried because we still don't see Viking production. at all. And Journey needs to realize that it is actually a Colossus build coming out here. It's not some weird Immortal composition. There's a couple of Immortals in the army, absolutely, but once 2 or 3 Colossus bear down on Journey with extended thermal lance, there, finally we get the Viking production coming out after 8 medevacs. At the moment, I still think Journey could actually fight if he's able to draw his opponent's army out of position, which is what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a good angle on that 3rd base and then move in behind with Widow Mines, which is a nice little maneuver, and split his opponent's army up, which is still very vulnerable. So let's see what he can do. The answer is not much. 1 Widow Mine goes off. He is forced away for the time being. I think he had an opportunity there. He killed 3 workers, which is always nice, but it's also not incredible. YongHwa is sort of setting up for a run-by here with this pylon. And these Widow Mines are still going to be a little bit of an annoyance. Yeah, YongHwa, this is a very, very easy map to actually see Widow Mines on. You probably noticed as he went into view range there. And now, of course, it's going to spot it with the Observer, but you don't even need that half the time. In the meantime, Journey just posturing around trying to get something done, but YongHwa's defense looks tight. The 3rd base is now up, and he should be able to defend that without too much of a problem. Got a couple of drops moving around. I don't think he's going to be able to shut that base down. And frankly, he's not even going to be able to engage properly. And that was not a great fight for Journey. Takes a little bit more damage. And I'm a bit worried for him. YongHwa is starting to build up this nasty force. Upgrades are looking pretty good for him as well, with the extended thermal lance and charge about to complete. Is he actually going to get this? Wow. I did not expect him to manage that. So he did sacrifice quite a bit in order to pull some of those units away and throws away a few Marauders there as well, but that was a good snipe, and that's forcing YongHwa to think about attacking here. But YongHwa did lose some units. Does Journey have enough to defend, I have to wonder. His Viking count is now at 8, so that's not too bad, but the Blinkstalker count is at 20, and they're 1-1 Blinkstalkers as well. Journey is also at 1-1, but is nowhere near getting his +2 as of yet. So it looks like YongHwa wants to go for it, and I don't really blame him. I mean, bear in mind that Nexus wasn't actually being mined from, so it's almost like YongHwa said, oh, here's a 3rd base for you to snipe. I'm going to make that costly for you, and then I'm going to go all in at this point. And he has the army to do it. The army count is in favor of the Protoss, which is never where you want to be as a Terran here. That 3rd base is probably forfeit, frankly. YongHwa, of course, needs to be careful about not having his Colossus near the back where they could be sniped at. That was an opportunity, I think, for Vikings to take off a volley without losing too many units. SCBs have now been pulled from both sides, and the fight is on. Will Journey be able to break this? He's focusing down the Colossus. One goes down immediately. Second one goes down as well. The Charging Zealots are now in the fray. The Blinkstalkers are looking good, but they're only focusing down the Vikings. The Immortals still go untouched, however. Journey being pushed back, also losing SCVs. This is looking like it could be a win here for YongHwa if it can continue with the aggression. This bunker holding strong for the time being. The Immortals not able to bring their fire down, but the force fields are doing a great job of holding Journey's army back here. And there's another round of Warpins. He wants more force fields to fight. He does not have his big power units, but he has a lot of Stalkers, a good number of force fields. +2 is about to be done here, but the army supply count is actually now surprisingly even. Without the Colossus, this could be risky here for YongHwa. He's going to engage. He focuses fire on the Vikings. Really great force fields, holding the majority of that army back once again. Charging Zealots come in from the back here as well to disrupt the formation, and YongHwa continues to hammer it forward. Will he have the firepower to make it work? The Immortals are finally getting focused down. Is the Blinkstalker micro enough? The meat shield is gone. Journey trying to push his way through. Does he have it? He does. He has the firepower to push this back, and YongHwa sent packing. But not without significant losses here to the economy of Journey. He's down to 18 SCVs here. The 3rd base is being re-established. YongHwa continues to mine. And while, yes, power units were destroyed, and now Journey does have an upgrade advantage, army supply is in favor of Journey, but it seems like he has to do damage now. Look at his working count. It's only 21. If he doesn't do something immediately about YongHwa, then YongHwa will be able to build up a huge army and crush him. The economy of the Terran is right now crippled. And he's looking to go for it. That is not a big army from the Protoss player, but I'm worried about this force field. YongHwa has been on point. Will it be enough? We're about to find out. Journey stims in and focuses down one. He gets a second one right here, and he looks to get a pylon. Doesn't get it. The first missed force field I think I've seen from YongHwa this entire series. And he has to play a little bit of ring around the rosy, trying to find a good engagement arc, but I think the time is running out. I really do. Journey's production is not looking good. He's only producing 5 units at a time. He just doesn't have the economy to support this. Double time warp going down, and missed force fields again. YongHwa, quite surprising. That could have been pretty much game over if those force fields had landed properly. I still think it is getting to the point of being game over, but Journey's army is still big and scary enough with his medevac count to actually fight, but his Viking count is decimated. If a third Colossus is added into the fray, which it just was, then can Journey really fight against YongHwa? I don't think so. I really don't, and he's starting to get pieces of his army just shaved away. The second push is on the way here, and now the economic disparity is really being shown. Yet more units being picked off for free by YongHwa's army. Now he takes a supply lead. And Journey's going to have to look to take an amazing fight, but I mean, it would have to be an incredible fight, unless YongHwa decides to play passively here. Does he try to just get further ahead? He has a third base down. I think maybe he should have pushed, because the Viking count is so very, very low. And I think he realizes, wow, you only have 3 Vikings? Okay, I have 3 Colossus, let's go. Dark Templar Shrine being added in. We've got a couple of ghosts coming in here for Journey as well, which is not going to be hugely useful. But YongHwa decides to pull back anyway. Maybe that was the right decision, maybe not. He's going to try and do a little bit of Zealot harass. That third base is not well defended. Really, Journey's army's got to be in one place at any given time because it is comparatively weak. So this Zealot run-by could do something. We'll see what he decides to do here. You might be thinking, oh, well, my opponent is desperate. He wants to take the gold base to try and catch up. But the army is moving out now. There we go. He sees the army moving out now. He can make a solid run-by into the third, which should do significant damage. There's really not a lot to defend that. In fact, there's basically nothing. And he's going to have to pull all the SCVs away. He might lose a few in the process. Army comes in to try and meet that, and he loses just mining time. Nice response there from Journey. That could have done a lot more. Journey forced backwards again, though. And he's done an admirable job of catching up in every respect here. Mules are a good unit. And YongHwa, I don't think, pressed his advantage when he actually had the chance to do so. So the Terran is now right back in the game. That's what we like to see. So where does YongHwa go from here? He's brought down a DT Shrine. We see no sign of Templar coming out of him. Not at all. Will he attempt DT run-bys? Or, yes, it looks like he will. Or will he attempt to just add Archons? Well, he warps in 3, so it seems like it's going to be DT run-bys here. Let's keep an eye on the map for that. There we go. There are the 3 DTs making their way in. This is the problem Journey currently has. Like, he's basically mined out off of everything of what instead of one base there. YongHwa still kind of has a base and a half mining. So this could be a problem. The DTs are now doing whatever damage they can, cutting off gas supplies here. But Journey wants to fight, and he takes out the Mothership Core before Photon Overcharge. Very, very nice, and here we go. We have the fight and the engagement coming in. Absolutely massive armies on both sides will clash. Does Journey have the firepower to bring these Colossus down? It looks like he does. There's still a lot of Stalkers left, but the Zealots are gone. Journey is looking in a decent spot here. A Colossus comes in from the other side. It is picked up. But I think Journey has what he needs now to make this work. The meat shield is gone. He's able to crash through, and Journey is going to make the comeback. Looks like Journey will take this to the final game. To the match point here, a DT is warped in to try and do some damage, but now the army of Journey is overwhelming both Nexus. And what does YongHwa have to defend against it? Not much. In the meantime, by the way, all of the SCVs were killed. DTs all over the place, but that doesn't make a difference. YongHwa still has a much smaller army than the Terran player. He is picking off bits of it, but Nexus are going down left, right, and center in a straight-up fight. YongHwa will not win. He's going for a Dark Templar base trade, but of course that's fixed just by lifting up 40 SCVs and 13 workers. 15 now for the Protoss player having been killed. These DTs going to work, doing significant damage. There's not actually enough scans by the looks of it to make this work. This actually could be a problem. Journey is currently floating all of his command centers. He can't scan. He has no Raven, and there are 4 Dark Templar on the map. Now, if YongHwa actually denies these landing and is able to kill these off, then actually, Journey's going to be in big trouble. He will not have any method for detection. The starports are there, but he hasn't built a Raven. In fact, he doesn't have the gas to build a Raven. So as weird as it sounds, we're actually in a base trade. If these DTs are able to stop these scans from going down here, there are now 3 DTs alive on the map. They're currently not fighting the army. YongHwa does not have enough gas, I think, to warp in another Dark Templar, assuming he had a DT Shrine, which he doesn't. That was shut down. But there is still no method for detection here. You'll notice all the detection is currently floating. So this single DT can kill effectively everything if it's given enough time to do so. And YongHwa realizes that. He absolutely realizes this and says, you know what, I am not going to let you land this CC. This one is about to burn down. He will be down to one command center that has scan energy. Now there are 2 DTs in the fight, and Journey is going to have to back away from trying to kill this base. There goes 1 CC. This is the only one left. This is the only one left. So what Journey has to do is he's got to figure out where the DTs are. He's going to be able to land this command center without it being stopped, and then scan in order to kill the Dark Templar. Then he can win. But the problem is it's being spotted, and damage is being done here. This looks like, yeah, it's going to set this on fire. Could Journey still lose from this position against a 52 army supply against 19? Potentially he could. Journey with the hot pickup here to try and make sure that everything starts. But the CC's gone! Was that the last command center? There's no scan! Surely. There's no CC on the map, right? No, there's no command center. Journey now cannot win. But he can force a draw. In theory. So what he can do is, if he's able to... I don't think there's even places to float on this map. No, I mean, he can't force a draw. Journey has lost. Straight up. As a result of this. He's lost all his command centers. There's no way you can safely float these buildings. So the only thing Journey can now do is attempt to base trade. And before he loses all of his buildings. And he's going to have to do that by being hypermobile. Alright? There's a really nicely placed nexus down in the corner here for YongHwa, which you'd never really expect to see. So this is what's going to happen. He's going to have to try and use medevacs to avoid losing units to DTs. Yeah? Which currently he's effectively doing. And kill all the buildings on the map in order to win. He can't afford to lose units. He's going to have to pick up everything. Use his mobility to avoid these Dark Templar. YongHwa's win condition is to get what's left of his Stalkers together, shoot down the medevacs, and kill the army. Or alternatively, kill all the buildings of Journey. That will take a while. These DTs are working through all these add-ons. There's a lot of buildings still to go. In theory, it's anyone's game, although I still think YongHwa has the better chance of winning it. I don't think Journey will be able to keep his army alive. Like, he's already lost, like, 10 more supply here. He doesn't kill a Stalker. There's 3 DTs, 2 of which are harassing the army. He finds the Nexus, though, so now he's going to be able to detect where all of these buildings are and find things like these hidden pylons. But he doesn't kill the Nexus as of yet. There are actually 8 probes on the map. So in theory, YongHwa could actually mine here. And in my opinion, he should. Like, if he knows his opponent isn't there, he should be mining or at least rebuilding something. And let's look at what tech is available here. Like, there is still a Robo. There is still a robotic spade. I don't think you'd want to go with a Colossus here. But you have the ability to build units. Now with the Nexus going down, I think that's not going to happen. But he has to commit to doing this, and it loses yet more units to this Dark Templar in the process. Now the army supply is 39. These DTs are slowly working away here. And Journey is losing his firepower. And there's still a lot of buildings he needs to kill. Most of the base is now built up. Is this the time where YongHwa tries to finish this? I don't think he has the firepower. He only has 5 Stalkers. That's not good enough. But he does need to stop his buildings from dying. The DTs are now making their way in once again. And Journey will no doubt see the blurs here. There's the hot pickup. And will he be able to get more units out of this? Doesn't look like it. He's trying, but the stim is being used to avoid this, and he's going to pick up and avoid and go. He isn't able to kill these buildings as of yet. Can he keep kiting? Oh, wow. Interesting idea. Whoa! Journey, so freaking clever. Look at this. He walls in the DTs inside the base to allow his harassment and the killing of buildings to go unhindered. Really smart play. The DTs finally make their way through. A Stalker dies in the process. Down goes a cannon as well. All 3 DTs are now committed to fighting this army. He realizes that, look, I don't have the firepower to kill these buildings that are floating. I've got to commit to killing the army. Now it's 35 army supply to 13. Journey's going to wall in again. And YongHwa has to stop that from happening, right? Because otherwise these DTs are going to be in a lot of trouble. There's the quick pick up and go. Incredible play here from Journey. This is still on a knife edge. Who actually wins this? Journey with a small army. He's got 4 Vikings, 3 Marauders, 7 Medevacs, and 3 Marines. And he's losing units. He loses another Viking here to these DTs. YongHwa, in the meantime, is shooting up at these buildings, trying his best. But I think there's just too many pylons around on the map. I think that Journey is losing too many units here. He's now down to 1 Marauder and 2 Marines. I don't see... Yeah, I think this is going to be YongHwa's game now. Journey was not able to maintain his army. He lost both CCs. And he lost the ability to scan. I think this will be game now. There's only one Marauder and 2 Marines. Journey, I don't think is going to be able to kill all these buildings with that. It was a brave attempt. I'll give him that. It was. Although, that said, Journey can now attempt to force a draw. Because there are only 3 Stalkers on the map here. Only 3. By the way, another Nexus was built, so YongHwa could actually mine, and then that would be game. But right now, Journey is attempting to force a draw by floating. I think this is the only place on the map where these buildings would stay alive. But, here's the thing. Right, here's what's going to happen. All YongHwa's going to do here is pull his 3DTs back to this Nexus. There is no way in a million years that the 3 units of Journey actually kill it. He'll then build a starport, build a Phoenix or a Void Ray, and then that's game. So, I think that YongHwa has this in the bag here. Oh, he's definitely going to have it now. Ooh, maybe. That was so close. That was an aggressive drop here by Journey. He is trying with 3 units to make this work. But with Dark Templar on the board, that's only 2 units now. He just lost 33% of his army in one swing. Journey's still fighting, but there's nothing... I mean, the army supply is now equal, and 3 of the units for his opponent are invisible, with no detection available for the Terran player. And he gets a pick off on a Stalker, which is good, but you still don't have an answer to the Dark Templar other than kiting. What are you gonna do? He's gonna attempt, I think, that wall-in strategy again. But this Nexus is up, right? So, YongHwa is mining. And it's defended by 3DTs. There's no way in a million years Journey can kill that, right? It can't be done. Surely. Here are the 2 units, and one of the medevacs goes down as well. I guess it doesn't matter when you have so many of them. He literally has more medevacs than units at this point. And... no, I mean, this is fancy Journey, but I think... I mean, he can maybe kill the Stalker, but he can't kill the DT. That's it! That's it, GG! An insane game. And YongHwa finishes things off 4 games to 2. I think there were definitely moments where Journey could have maybe pulled that back, but not from that position. It was a brave attempt. Brave attempt, but there you go. YongHwa will be the champion of the OlimoLeague monthly finals. This is the first one, and he will walk away with the lion's share of the $500 prize pool. So congratulations to him. That was absolutely fantastic. And commiserations to Journey, but can't really complain too much. He still walks away with a little bit of cash at the end of that. The monthly finals giving out $150 to the 2nd place. And, of course, the 3rd and 4th place finishers for this particular monthly final would be Ryong and Supernova, the two Terran. And we see a Protoss winning again. Oh, man. That was a really insane final. That was a lot of fun to watch, I've got to say. But that is certainly game. For those wondering why this was such a short broadcast, well, I'm actually not supposed to be broadcasting this at all. I was just filling in for Kaldor, who actually had technical problems, so I was just jumping on to kind of try and save the final few games. But congratulations. That was a really interesting fight. That was a lot of fun. And remember, OlimoLeague goes on every week. It's usually cast by Base Trade TV. They were unavailable this week to cast, so Kaldor filled in, then had tech problems, and then I filled in just to finish off the finals. But Base Trade TV are the usual casters for this particular tournament. And of course, this is a tournament supported by your patronage. If you head on over to patreon.com/OlimoLeague, I'm going to post that in the chat for you right there. Then you will be able to contribute. Bear in mind, it is a weekly contribution, so don't give too much. Like, $1 is really helpful. You'd be surprised. This tournament is entirely run through 42 people. The reason this tournament happens is because 42 people decided to donate $365 per tournament. Yeah, that's how little you need to make something like this work. So, a big thanks to everyone concerned there. Absolutely phenomenal. I would like to read off who is actually a big sponsor of this, but I actually can't do that because I don't have access to that list, because, again, I'm not supposed to be casting this. But, again, thank you very much for your patience, and apologies for the problems in the previous game. Congratulations to YongHwa. I'm going to get some breakfast. I didn't actually want to cast this, I'm going to be honest. I did, but physically I didn't think I could because I'm really tired. But I'm going to go get some breakfast, and hopefully you guys have a great Saturday. I may stream a little bit of Dota later, depending on how I'm feeling. My name's been TotalBiscuit. This has been the finals of the OlimoLeague, and congratulations to our winner, YongHwa, who walks away with $250 and wins 4 games to 2 against Journey. I'll see you next time. Good night. good afternoon. Yes, that.